Hello, welcome to my channel. I just want to take a few minutes to do kind of like a whip and chat, but this is a little bit different since I'm going to be doing a different project. I'm trying to do these every Thursday instead of Wednesdays, because a lot of people do their whip and chat Wednesdays or their Monday, make day, the day they make stuff and talk about it. So I decided I want to try to do these on Thursday and just like I'm still trying to decide what to call it. But today, instead of diamond painting or art or markers or coloring, I am going to do work on one of the last earrings that I have to finish up on this beading project I had started. First of all, this is little plastic mesh bag I found at Dollar Tree last summer. Last summer they had a bunch of different colors of these. I really like these for maintaining all my projects that I'm working on. I keep them in a big bag, and so I have all my projects at hand. So we'll go ahead and take this out. Let's first take this one out. This is my beading mat. Whenever I'm beading, I usually keep my needles stuck to the mat. So there's that. These are some of the colors of the beads that I'm working with right now. There we go. So my scissors, my thread, the other beads for that. This is some of the pieces that are going to go into this beading project. And this is one that I had completed already. I'm making fringe earrings right now. So I wanted to use up some of my acrylic beads, some of the other little pieces that I have for my beading projects. So this is one that I had started, and so I'm going to finish this up today. I wanted to do it a little bit different. Instead of just all seed beads, I did add some, I believe these are six seed beads. So to this, and I like the colors. I was trying to stick with like a certain color range. So this is one of several that I've done over the last few months. So these are taking me a while because it does take me a while to do like these smaller projects, just because my hands don't always want to cooperate, and I usually have to take breaks in between projects. So let's see if I can get this to straighten out a little bit. There we go. That's what it should look like once we're done. Okay. So this is what it's going to look like, and then once I get it completely done, I will take and put this little cone at the top, and then we'll have this bead at the top, and then we'll make a loop for the hook, and then that's what it will look like. So yeah, so that's what I'll be working on a little bit today. I try to make these short. I try to keep them anywhere under 20 minutes and under. So right now we're going to go ahead and get started on this. I've already done the wire. I just need to make sure I'm getting the count right. Let's see real quick. Okay, so the very first one is going to start out. We got three, so we got 3 of each color, a big bead, and then three of each color and the big bead, and we just keep going down. So it looks like that's what my count is, all the way down to the end. Okay, so it's real easy. So we're going to put them in the color order. So I've got silver first, the light blue, the dark blue, then this, and then this is the bead in between each of them. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and let's set this one aside. So that's our frame of reference. I'm just gonna put these aside too. We don't really need those yet. Here is our wire. I decided to go with beading wire instead of the traditional like post. The little post, or the one with the hook and eye post as well, are T-pins. There's like ball pins. There's like I don't think they're called T-pins, but it's the one with the little flat, it looks like almost like a little nail at the top, and then they have ones with loops. Well, when I'm doing these fringe ones, sometimes those little tiny loops are just too small and I can't get that many fringe on it. So I decided to go with wire this time. So I just twisted my own wire and twisted it up, and so we're going to go with that. All right, so we'll go ahead and get some thread out, and just kind of talk about things that are going on for myself. In previous ones I've done, this will probably be, I think, the 6th one I've done since I started the channel. I am retired, and I was actually medically retired a few years ago due to an issue with my arm. I had rotator cuff surgery several years ago in 2020 actually. The surgery went fine. It was the recovery part that did not go well. I apparently, the muscle just didn't recover. We ended up with a frozen shoulder for a little bit. We got that to where it was working better, but I then developed a seizure. Not seizure, a tremor. First they thought it was a seizure, and it wasn't a seizure. It was actually a tremor that was occurring. It could have been damage due to the nerve block, but by the time we got through all of that, you know, the referrals, the testing, I've done every nerve test possible. It was really too late to hold the doctor or the organization that did my surgery responsible. I had already talked to a lawyer, all these things, but they said it was too late to really do anything. So we just moved on. I did apply for Social Security disability. I had already had my VA disability approved for other reasons prior to that, so that was not related to the VA disability. So we went through Social Security disability, and that was a long process. I mean, I don't know if anybody else has ever gone through that. I mean, it is a very lengthy process, and a lot of people probably give up after the first 2 or 3 denials. Then you appeal, and then they deny it again. They ask for more information. I mean, it was just a long process. I got down to, I think it was my 4th or 5th appeal over several years, because every time I appealed, I would run out of time. I'd have to start all over again. So basically, they were cutting out the time for, and once it gets approved, you get retroactive pay. They cut down the amount of retroactive pay I could actually get because of the appeal process, the way it was working out. So my last round of appeals, because I was getting ready just to give up altogether, because it had been several years and I just didn't think it was ever going to get approved. I knew I had problems. I knew the doctor knew I had problems. They had all the documentation in there, and they just were not working with me. So the VA made sure I had all the documentation there. We did struggle to get the documentation from the actual people that did the surgery. Later on, actually probably about maybe a year or so ago, I found out the organization that did my surgery, the people where we went to, the surgery center that we went to, actually went out of business. They got shut down for malpractice, I believe, is what I read online. Some issues with the way they were handling their surgeries, the way they were handling documentation and paperwork. And this could explain why maybe mine got approved, because they were the same place we were trying to get my records from, and we kept running into roadblocks with them. It came down to the administrative judge threatening to file sanctions against them and fine them for not providing the documentation they requested for my appeal process. And so it finally got approved, and then we went through all that. But like I said, as many times as I filed appeal, lost time, appealed again, I did get some retroactive pay, but not as much as I thought I should have, considering it was almost 4 years, I think 4-year process altogether. But no, so I was just happy we got it done and over with, and I could move on. So then I was officially retired last year. Okay, so we're going to do 3, 3, 3. Okay. Go ahead and get this started. So I am actually officially retired medically. I was already retired from my previous job prior to working in the civilian sector before I got hurt. I was in the military. I served 20 years in the Air Force, and I retired in 2013. I got out, separated, got divorced. I completely changed my whole life after I retired from the military. Then I started working. I was working mainly customer service jobs. I did a lot of call center jobs, those kind of things, because I was always good at it. And then I found people did like the administrative side of what I did before. So then I got some jobs where I was working as an administrator for programs. The one that I enjoyed the most, actually I did enjoy the work, not so much the people I worked with, because that was a whole other issue, but I was working for an organization. It was dealing with homeless veterans, and so we worked for a Department of Labor grant program, And so I enjoyed that work. I enjoyed the process of developing the programs, auditing the records, making sure we were staying on track and within the guidelines of the Department of Labor and the grant program. I got to travel a lot of different places during that job, mainly for training and classes, and trying to set up the training program for the business that I was working with. Because they were revamping. A lot of people had moved on. Most people didn't stay in those positions for more than 3 years. So they had a lot of turnover, but they wanted to be able to set up a program that once they have the turnover, because people didn't last that long in those positions, that was easy to just step back up and keep moving. So that was part of my job too, is set up a training program. So I was working on that. So I ended up going to and taking all the classes that everybody would have to take for those positions. So I went and took the same classes, so I got to travel quite a bit for that. We went to conferences. I met a lot of people that dealt with some of these programs for homeless veterans across the United States. We went to a national conference a couple times. And so yeah, everything was going good. I really enjoyed that job. I enjoyed meeting some of the people I met, helping them achieve whatever work goals they had, whether it was getting training, finding the job for their skill set, stuff they were interested in, and just getting them back on their feet and back moving again. I felt I've always worked jobs where they've been like service type jobs. The military was the longest one, for serving that for 20 years, and I always felt like that's where I needed to be. So besides doing that, being a mom, raising 4 kids, pushing them to do what they needed to do to accomplish whatever they wanted to accomplish, was the other thing that I worked on. I was married. Like I said, once I got separated or retired from the military, I separated from my husband, filed for divorce, because by then the marriage just really wasn't going very well as it was. So I just went ahead and decided to move on. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, just making sure I'm staying on track here. So I filed for divorce. We got divorced. We'd been divorced for like a whole year, roughly about a year, and almost like, let's see, August, September, October, November, December, January, 5, 6. Roughly almost a year and 9 months, I want to say, is how long we'd been divorced. He was moving on, I was moving on, I was doing my own thing, he was doing his own thing, and then unfortunately he had a massive heart attack and he passed away. So we hadn't been divorced more than 2 years yet when he passed away. So then it came back to me being a single mom again. I was a single mom when I first met him. So it came back to me being a single mom again, still raising. I had 2 that were still in high school. One was in college, one had already graduated college, and so we were now moving forward as a family with just me and my kids. And it took a while for us to bounce back and everybody to feel okay again, and we just kept moving. Everybody just kept accomplishing what they were setting out to accomplish, and we did fine. It's now been 10 years since their father passed away. It took me quite a while to move through that, because I was still, at the time, I was still like in mourning of the loss of my marriage. I was a big believer in, when you get married, it's forever. I had grandparents that were married for more than 50 years. My mother, who I don't talk to anymore, is kind of one of the reasons why I got divorced. I had to remove people from my life that were not good for my life. My mother was one of them, my mother and my siblings. So we don't talk to each other anymore. And her and her husband, though, they've been married for over 50 years as well. So a lot of people in my family, they stayed married for very long times. Divorce was really the last option. So you try to work it out the best you can. If it is not possible, if other things are going on, then you just let it go and move on. So for me, getting divorced was not what I wanted, but we had to. I mean, we're not getting along with each other. He was much older than I. He was about 8 years older than me. and we both grew in different directions, and we always clashed about the things I wanted to accomplish. I was very supportive of him, but he kind of wanted to be the boss, I guess, and control everything. So, oh, there goes my alarm. Let me stop that real quick and stop. I won't go on just for a few more minutes. So we just, just moved on. So now it's been 10 years as of this month. Actually, as of today is the 10th anniversary of his passing. I just realized that. So it's been 10 years as of today. My kids are doing well. They're off on their own, doing their own thing, doing their jobs. They finished college. My youngest is still working to accomplish and finish up his education. He had some setbacks due to the pandemic, losing time from the school that he was at, and just trying to continue on. So now he's heading back on a better track. We've made plans to start maybe moving next year, probably by next summer. I think by next summer we should be ready to go, so he can finish up his, he's doing like a trade type school. He should be finished up by next summer. He's going to be starting back here soon, and I think that program is like 6 months. So it may be cut over into our lease, the remainder of our lease here, so we'll just have to continue on. Let me see what I got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more, and then this row we've done. So yeah, we'll just keep moving, keep doing what we want to do. I want to move from where I'm at. I've lived in this state for 50 years, and it's time to move on and find something new. And the place I'm moving to is the place I'd always wanted to retire to. I mean, that was the original plan I had with my ex-husband, for us to move after I retired, work for a little while, we save up for our retirement, put into retirement, and just move on. That was our plan for a very long time, and that kind of changed as time went on, and it was no longer the plan. So he had his own plans, and I moved on and continued on with mine. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. This week, not much else is going on. I don't have any appointments yet until towards the end of the month. Doctor's appointments and those kind of things, follow-ups, and I think I have a couple dental appointments too, but not much else is going on. We're trying to stay cool here in Oklahoma. I live in Oklahoma, and it is very, very hot here. Every day has been anywhere from 100 to 108 with the heat index. The temperature is actually around 97 right now. So it's been very hot. It's just too hot to really do a lot of things. So I just stay inside. I take my son to work. I stay home. I do craft projects, put videos together for my YouTube channel, and just try to stay busy and try to stay cool. Try to keep my cats from being too whiny because they want to sit in the windows with the sun, but it's so hot, and I've been having to keep the shades closed, and they don't like it. So I let them have a little bit of sun for a little bit, and then I have to shut the shades because it's too hot out there. And we try to keep the temperature cool in the house, so it's comfortable. And so yeah, that's what we're dealing with right now, is the summer heat, and my son is his new job. And so yeah, that's where I'm at now. And let's see, take this last one. All right, so this is the last bead, and then so what I will do now is go up past this bead and pull this thread. So this repetitive motion, constant moving, that's why I usually have to take time to rest when I'm working on projects. So I'll probably get maybe 2 or 3 of these done, maybe rest depending on how well my hands feel, because sometimes I get numb and tingling. Then my shoulder starts bothering me. I haven't had a tremor while I'm doing this, sometimes, because I usually have like slight tremors, and then every once in a while I have a really hard tremor where it goes for like more than 15 minutes. If the tremor lasts for more than 15 minutes, then my arm is pretty much dead for the rest of the day. I can't do a lot. I'm just usually in pain. So I rest, watch TV, watch a movie, something like that, plan out my next projects. So this is the one I'm currently finishing up. So it will look like this once I get it done. And yeah, that's really all I have for you today. Thank you for stopping by. If you like what you see, give me a like, subscribe, and share. And I will talk to you later. And you have a great week. Talk to you later. Bye.